Hey there, it's Andrea Caprio from Wellness Methods. I am so glad you're joining me today. Thank you so much. I'm really glad to share a few things with you which help you to learn how to cleanse and nourish your body. We go through times in our life we want perhaps to cleanse more your body, but I want actually today to tell you also how to nourish your body. I think there's a lot of misconception around cleanses or detoxes, and I want to bust them and give you lots of tips. So today I want to share with you 3 facts that you probably didn't know about detoxing, 5 simple ways to detoxify your body, and 3 fun ways to learn to nourish your body as well. So let's start. Just a little introduction. My name is Andrea Caprio. I'm the founder and owner of Wellness Methods. I am a transformational nutrition coach. Additionally, I am a digestive health specialist in functional nutrition as well. I'm also a corporate wellness coach, and I'm specialized as well in autoimmune diseases. So you hear probably already I'm really passionate about what I'm doing. I obviously gained a little bit of knowledge in the way. It started all with me being stressed and having lots of issues with fatigue and my body, and it was just not working anymore. I had digestive issues. I was really tired, and I started having more serious issues as well. And I came across a cleanse at the time, and actually that's funny because that's the thing which started me off to become a nutrition coach. I did this cleanse, I gained energy, I felt just so much better. My digestive trouble stopped and all that and became calmer. I went back to normal eating, I felt bad again, and then I did the cleanse again and I felt good. And there I say, hey, there is something. Now, you need to know this cleanse was not a normal cleanse. It was a 21-day cleanse, which actually is similar to the one I'm proposing to my clients today, which I really believe in, because it's not just cleansing or detoxing, it's nourishing your body. And that's what I want to speak today about. So I think I'm right qualified to talk and to share all this with me, because I'm passionate about it. I must honestly say, I learned so in the way then I learned really to look into the digestive issues and develop this cleanse for my clients, and I've seen so many results with this actually, where some of my clients, they just went from overweight, they lost weight when they went through the cleanse. All of them gained energy. I think that's a must. They all had, when they had some digestive troubles, they improved, and so on and so on. It's just the digestive system and the toxin build up in our bodies. It's just really, quite a lot. And of course, we need to cleanse our bodies from time to time. So let me perhaps give you 3 facts which you might not have known about detoxing. And the first one is that short juice fasts or short detoxes or whatever they're called, they do actually more harm than good. I hear a lot of my clients that go on, or have been going before they met me, on yo-yo dieting, or they do all kind of detoxes, and I hear always the liver cleanse, and I hear juice detox and water detox, and I don't know, all kind of things, and usually they do more harm than good. And I will explain to you a little bit later why, because I want to run you through a cleanse, the cleanse I'm actually proposing, which is the perfect way, and it really makes sense. But just for you to know is, when you are not using the right foods in your cleanse, you are actually not able to detox fully. So for that, it's really important that you actually go through 3 phases of detoxification. And when you do short juice fasts, first of all, the time is not long enough, and secondly, it loosens up the toxins you have in your body, and they stay there. And that often causes more harm than good, because if you're then not able to change the molecules of your toxins and be able to eliminate them after properly, they just stay and they float in your body around. Now, before, you had all those toxins safely stored away in your fat cells, by the way. And just for you to know, toxin buildup is very much linked to weight gain, because they bind together with the fat cells, the toxins, and it's very difficult to eliminate. So if you have weight issues, especially when you have issues with visceral fat or so, you might want to look into cleansing your body. So short juice fasts do more harm than good. So I really invite you to look rather at a cleanse that is using 3 phases when you want to do something good to your body. The other thing, the second point of the facts I want to share with you is we actually naturally detox every day. Yes, it's very simple, because at night we are detoxing. We are doing a fast. And perhaps if you think the word breakfast breaks the fast. So, every night we are detoxing, and we should cleanse, and we should take that time to restore our body and to allow our bodies actually to take that, that rest time to cleanse, to remove the toxins, to really go in the process. Now, the cleansing process at night is done roughly between 10-11 o'clock and 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And if we don't sleep during that time, it's no good, because our body can't naturally detox. And that's why it's so important to sleep early, ideally before 10 o'clock, and also to allow your body to have the 8 hours of sleep. But at least it should have the time between 10 and 11 and 2-3 o'clock in the morning to really detox from all the toxin built up and allow your body, your liver, to take your toxins and transform them, and eventually they can eliminate. And there also it's important, of course, to support every day your body with the right foods. If you eat every day sulfur-rich foods, which help, for example, with the detoxification process, or if you eat the right protein, so you get the amino acids which help you to detox in your liver, it helps you with the enzymes, and so on and so on. It's really important that to eat a whole array of healthy foods, and of course, and you know that I'm sure, is to eat the right foods like organic foods and non-processed whole foods, not refined carbs, no sugar, and so on. And that really, if you follow those simple steps, helps you to detox every day. And still, it is good to do a seasonal detox, probably in the springtime or perhaps in autumn. But if you do that every day already, you already prevent from the toxin build-up, which often leads to so many other health problems after. So you can do that also with drinking a lot of water. Just very easy. And I will share at the end a couple of foods which you can include in your diet to help you, of course, with detoxification process for every day. And the third point is, and I just touched on it already, you need really the full range of healthy foods to detox. And that's why often juice fasts are really not very good. But you need, for example, the amino acids to be able to detox. So when you don't eat enough protein, you don't get the amino acids. And then the whole detoxification process can't really work. So that's why it's important that when you do a detox, and in your everyday life actually, is you have lots of vegetables. A lot of green vegetables are really great, but ideally it's the whole array of all the colors. You have all the fiber in there, and that helps with the whole detoxification process. It binds the toxins as well to properly eliminate it after. And you also need the protein, as mentioned. So the protein in a detox, sometimes you want perhaps during a detox really to remove any meat. I usually do that. However, it is possible to do a detox with meat, but then just opt for a really grass-fed organic meat and animal. Fish or whatever it is should always be wild caught. So it's really important, especially during a detox time or during a cleanse, to use only organic, grass-fed and wild-caught fish and other food. So really important to have the protein as well, and the healthy fats, because the healthy fats help you just to process all your food in the right way. And without the healthy fats, if you detox, and also without the protein, by the way, your energy is going to crash down. And I see that very often, and I'm sure you have seen it, heard it, or probably experienced if you have done any fast or any cleanse or so, is your energy comes crashing down. But if you actually support your body with the proteins as well and the healthy fats, your blood sugar levels, sorry for that, stay stable, and also helps you with the detoxification process far better, and hence you can detox faster and safer as well. And additionally, that will nourish your body, because I always hear people, they say, oh yeah, the detox is so hard, and I get headaches, and it does happen. You can't avoid it. You can always help it with drinking lots of water, and as I mentioned, eating really a balanced diet during your detox. But it's really, really important to nourish your body at the same time, and not just take it as a starvation, as a punishment or something like that. So always look forward to nourishing it as well when you do a cleanse, and look after yourself, and I will share some really great tips later on with you. So stay on here. Now let's move on. Why it is actually so important to detoxify your body daily, but also from time to time. So I want to share with you the signs actually which might tell you that it's time to detoxify. And usually that's of course a build-up of toxins, and the toxins are all over. I think today, in today's life, unless you live on a remote island or so, you can't avoid toxins. I think it's simply impossible. Even if you are eating super healthy like me, I walk my talk, but I still have toxin build-up, because it's in the air, it's of course in the food mostly, medication, whatever it is. So it's just the way it is. So that's why we try to support our body as well as possible, and use green products, and minimize the damage. And by eating organic food, that is definitely something in the right direction. Now, the signs perhaps you want to look at, which might be things you have observed over the last 3 months or so, might be, for example, when you have a coated, white or yellow coated tongue, or perhaps you have a bad breath or so. Fluid retention and sinus issues are also very often a sign that you have toxin build up. Increased belly fat or visceral fat is definitely a sign that there are some toxins there. If you have that, I would definitely look into it. Cravings and of course blood sugar issues, I mentioned those. Blood sugar issues lead to cravings in general, and that is always a sign of issues with toxins, especially when you have cravings, because they just have a whole lot of hormonal reaction after, and the neurotransmitters are affected when there's a toxin build up, and that leads to the cravings. Gallbladder, and of course liver issues, but gallbladder issues usually go most of the time back to your liver. So if you have any gallbladder stones or gallbladder inflammation or so, you will definitely want to look at your liver, and that is always the detoxification process. So if you have perhaps some pain, it's time to look at your liver, and it's time perhaps to do a detox. Bloating, abdominal bloating, or any digestive issues, as a matter of fact, are definitely telltale signs that there might be some toxin build up. But also things like sweating, overheating, excess sweating. If you have any resistance to weight loss, perhaps you've been trying to lose weight, but it's just not coming off, it is always a sign of toxin holding on to your fat, or the fat holding on to the toxins, and that's why you're not losing them. You know perhaps that the skin is your biggest detox organ. In fact, it's not your digestive system or the liver or so, but it's your skin. And if your digestive system or your liver is compromised by, the toxin buildup, it usually uses some other way out, because just imagine it's like a little bit like a drain or so, which is just clogged up. So if it can't go anywhere, it will go elsewhere. And of course, the next best way is the skin. So any skin issues you have are probably a telltale sign that these are liver issues and toxin buildup. So you might want to look at that. And a detox often helps. I must really say, before I had a lot of skin issues. I had acne. By the way, I had even more wrinkles. And just doing, eating healthy and doing a cleanse helped me to get rid of it almost all the time. And when I have a little bit something, I will look at my food, and usually immediately it improves. So instead of spending, all your money on creams and, taking acne products, creams and so on, lotions, just look into your gut, and you probably have solved 70 to 90% of it, if not even 100%. Even eczema and things like that, or itchy skins, are usually always involved with this one. Fatigue is one of the biggest things, I would say. I see so many people with chronic fatigue syndrome, of course adrenal fatigue as well, but especially chronic fatigue syndrome are very often signs there might be some toxin buildup. So definitely when you have suffering of fatigue, you should look into a special cleanse which nourishes you and builds you up, of course, after. And that's something I've really seen amazing results with all my clients. When I usually start working with them, I recommend to start with a cleanse. It's not for everybody, by the way, and I just want to put in a little word of warning. What I say here might count for most of people. It helped me, it helped my client, but I don't know you. So please, whatever you do or whatever advice you follow or so, always know that we are all different, and you always should check with your medical health care provider if whatever is recommended is working for you. And that includes, of course, what I'm telling you here. So always check if that's right. And, it's not by me telling you you might have these issues that you have them. There can be so many other issues as well which are involved. I mean, the body is really quite complicated machine, and usually things are all, linked to each other. So check with your healthcare provider if you think any of this applies to you. The other thing which very often I see as a sign which might have some toxin buildup is moodiness, or any issue of emotional ups and downs, even anxiety or other things like that, which might be originating in your gut issues, and that often linked to toxins. Also toxins, especially very dangerous toxins, like for example mold or mercury or something, or other ones, are very often linked to emotional issues, by the way, anxiety. So that is definitely, if you have those toxins, or if you suspect those toxins, you might want perhaps to look into it and do even some toxin testing, which you should ask your doctor about if you suspect that. Autoimmunity diseases are very often linked to toxin buildup. So that is something which also, if you suspect or if you have autoimmune diseases, of course, should always go hand in hand with your doctor's advice, but you might definitely look into detoxing. I usually would recommend, I have a couple of clients with autoimmune disease, and a healthy diet and regular detoxification is really what I recommend them, and what has helped them to put their signs and symptoms into remittance. I mentioned already the chemical sensitivity, or toxin or heavy toxin build up or so, but also when you, for example, light and certain people might have problems by drinking alcohol. So you might just be sensitive to the chemicals, or you might be sensitive in the alcohol. You might be sensitive to fragrances or anything. You know, cleaning products is of course one of the big things. So you might definitely look into that. If you feel that you're reacting, you might just get nauseous each time you're smelling a certain perfume, or when you drink, but even a little bit. So it's something to look at. Perhaps there's a toxin built up, and that can help if you do a detox. Insomnia is going very much back to fatigue, but especially when you wake up early in the morning, or in the middle of the night actually, sort of between 1 and 4 o'clock or 1 and 2 o'clock, is often a sign of toxin issues. You remember I mentioned earlier that the build-up is quite strong, and that we are detoxifying every evening, or every night rather, when you sleep. So when you wake up during that time, it means usually that the body has to work really, really hard in detoxifying, and that's why you might be waking up. So the importance here is to make sure you digest your food already correctly, and that starts with mindful eating. It starts with chewing your food properly, but also looking into, are there any issues down your line, your digestive line. So it starts from chewing, as I mentioned, but it's also the stomach acid. Do you have enough stomach acid to break down your food? Are your intestines working properly? Of course, the liver. But all these things are perhaps things which disturb your sleep, and which mean if you do a detox, you might actually be feeling better. And I mentioned already, cravings are one of the big things you want always to look. If you have huge food cravings, telltale sign that you might have some detox issues. Wow, I shared a lot here. I hope that makes sense to you, but I just wanted also to give you a little bit of background, because I feel there's so much so much myth around detoxification and what is going on and why we need it, and the root cause of it as well, or the root cause of so many other issues, is often that we have a toxified state of our body, and there's some digestive issues happening. And often people don't put one and one together and think, they have some, other issues, but it's actually quite simple to solve them. And again, I've really seen amazing results. I mean, I had this client of mine, 70 years old. She has been eating her whole life. She's been eating unhealthy, and she had pain. She couldn't move her hands anymore. She had overweight. She had really issues with headaches. She was diabetic. She had high cholesterol. She had cardiovascular issues. And she also was not sleeping every night. She was only sleeping 4 hours at night. She started working with me, and within 3 weeks everything's changed for her. I mean, she just embraced this whole detox she was doing with me, and I know she's still doing it. She still eating healthy and all that, and her pain stopped. She could move her fingers and her joints. She slept 8 hours. That was the most amazing thing for me to see, actually. She was so happy. She lost weight, of course, as well. And she could start, she stopped actually her diabetic medicine, and she could lower her, she took like 7 or 8 chronic medication. She could lower them with her doctor's help. And again, just to say that if that's something, please always check your doctor. I will never tell somebody to stop a medication. But when you feel better, of course, speak with your doctor, and he or she might be surprised how suddenly you got so well. Now, I want just to share with you, before going into giving you the tips how to improve, why 3-phase detoxification is so important, and why it's really, really important to nourish your body, not only starve your body. Now, there are 3 phases of detoxification. The first one is called oxidation, and that is happening in your liver. And mainly what happens there is during this process, you remove the toxins and you make your toxins soluble. And for this process to happen, you need enzymes. And usually when that happens, the toxins, as I mentioned earlier, they bind themselves to fat, so they kind of loosen off the fat and they become water soluble at that process. So at that stage, usually that's why short detoxes are so bad, because when that detoxification happens in your liver and after the other two phases are not following, all these toxins are floating in your body and makes things worse if you don't eliminate them. And you need, of course, the second phase to properly eliminate them. But if you keep them in your body, that's actually when you get all the headaches. Makes sense? And that's why often people have actually more issues after detoxifications if they don't go through the 3 phases. Now, the second phase is the conjugation phase, and that's also happening in your liver. And there is a metallization process happening. Actually, there's several processes happening, and I will not go in all to it because that is a long process actually to explain. But here, the removal of the toxins is going to happen. There's the sulfur normally is helping with this process quite a lot, and also the amino acids and organic acids. And that's why it's so important to eat proteins while you're doing a detoxification, and have really a balanced food, because if you don't have the proteins or the amino acids, you can't actually remove your toxins, because what's happening, they can't bind to something allowing you to detox them or to eliminate them, sorry. So it's very important that you have the second phase there, and the third phase is actually the excretion, which happens in the digestive system, where you then all these molecules which are bound together, and you're then able to actually excrete them through your colon. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope so. By the way, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. You can contact me always on my website. It's wellnessmethods.com. I'm sure there will be the link somehow here. And now I want to go into giving you a couple of tips on actually how to improve your health, but also how to help your detoxification process, no matter if you do a detoxification process from time to time, or for your daily detoxification process, or even once a week or so. I mean, there's no cut rule. I always think it's good to detoxify from time to time, but remember, it's a nourishing act. It's not a starvation. It's not to punish your body. It's to nourish it and to build it up, actually. And of course, remove the toxins in the process, but you can do that all with lots of love instead of really punishing your body and getting the headache. And by the way, if you do that regularly, eventually you don't get headaches. I had them when I did when I started detoxing. I had terrible headaches, actually. And now, it's just a thing of getting your body used to. And the toxins, if you do it regularly, don't build up that much anymore. So let's start. I think I have 5 tips for you. So I hope you have your pens and papers ready. And I also, by the way, have a little gift for you, which I'll share later on. But there's also some really good, helpful information. Now, the first thing is to eat plenty of fiber, and fiber, of course, you find in all kind of vegetable like beets, radishes, artichokes, cabbage are really great, broccoli, spirulina, chlorella, seaweed. All these are really great detoxifying foods, but also things like brown rice has really good fiber. So remember to eat lots of fiber while you're detoxing, but even in your day-to-day life. On a normal day, you should eat actually 30 to 50 grams of fiber. The average American diet is under 10 grams. And so you might have to intake, or might want to look into increasing the intake of fiber if you're not eating a very fiber-rich diet. And also prebiotic-rich foods contain very much fiber, and that's why they are so important, because they also feed your good bacteria in your gut, which are very important for good gut health, and which help as well, of course, with detoxification process. So you want also to include prebiotic-rich foods, and that's, for example, onions, garlic, Jerusalem artichokes, asparagus, You see there's some overlap here, what I mentioned, but that's really, really great for you in terms of detoxification. The second one is you want, especially when you do a cleanse, you want to cleanse and protect the liver by taking herbs, and especially great herbs to help with your liver detoxification and also to build it up at the same time is dandelion root, burdock and milk thistle. And drinking a lot of green tea and just herbal teas during the detoxification process is really a great idea. Now, again, please always, especially with herbs, make sure that's recommended for you. Not all herbs are good everywhere for everybody, so please always check with your doctor. I'm not a doctor, I'm a nutrition coach, and I don't know you, so please check with your doctor if certain herbs are good for you. And by the way, just also to say fiber, you might want to build up any fiber slowly, otherwise you get lots of headaches and issues in your digestive system. And fiber are not always good, sometimes a certain fiber if you're perhaps intolerant to it. So always check out if you have any food intolerances, and that's especially important with toxins. I see a lot of people have food intolerances, and of course if you're intolerant to a food, that leads to issues with toxins somehow. So look always at that one as well. During a detoxification process, I always recommend to take additionally some supplements. And the supplements I usually recommend are high vitamin C or a multivitamin, ideally with a lot of vitamin C. The multivitamin should also have vitamin Bs, which help you as well with the detoxification process. The other thing that is really important are amino acids. So there you could include protein powder or just healthy proteins, but just make sure that during a detoxification you especially include amino acids, and you could do that, for example, doing a smoothie. I love smoothies, I drink them almost every morning, but that's something which is really great while you are detoxification, while you're doing a cleanse. So when you do a smoothie in the morning, it's really great to add protein powder, and lots of vegetable, a little bit of fruit, perhaps some healthy fat, and perhaps some almond milk, and that is really a great thing actually to start your detoxification process. And then also enzymes are really important during that. I mentioned them already earlier. I highly recommend to take additional enzymes while you're detoxifying. So it helps, to speed up and also to go properly through phase 1 to 2. Those enzymes help you really to properly go and to bind, to loosen your toxins and to bind them after. And then the next point I want to share with you is to drink at least 2 quarts of water a day. And that is something you should do every day, but especially while you're detoxifying, when you do a cleanse, is to drink more water. It helps you with headaches, it helps you eliminate the toxins faster, cleans your digestive system. And there's a very good thing to do in the morning, which I do every morning, is to drink, on waking, to drink a glass of warm water with fresh lemon juice. And that helps, by the way, not only to cleanse your body, so it helps you with daily detoxification, but it also helps you to increase your stomach acid, which you need to break down the nutrients, and helps you a little bit to lighten up there. That helps you, and you might even consider apple cider vinegar in your water. Depends, it's a personal preference. I like the lemon in it, but that helps a lot to with your digestive system, and of course with the detox process. And the last thing I want to share is with you to breathe deeply and allow the oxygen to circulate more completely through your system, and of course that in itself detoxifies. So, very simple thing. So especially while you're doing a cleanse, remember to do regularly deep breathing, ideally out in the air, go on the balcony, go in your garden, go for a walk, which I highly recommend to do every day, ideally in the morning. and that will definitely support your cleanse and to really nourish your body as well, and that's what we want in the end. Right, I hope you took lots of notes here. I will, by the way, I'm sharing with you here a great takeaway. It's a list which I put together with fermented and prebiotic foods, because that's perhaps the last point, is to also include probiotics in your food, and or even an additional probiotic, but you can also support your detoxification process with fermented and prebiotic foods. And I have a great list for you with all the foods which you can download. The link is just here. So I want to share the last tips with you, which for me are really near and dear, because I always see people thinking only about the foods. And look, I'm a nutrition specialist, but I believe in holistic healing, and just by changing foods you are not gonna do everything. It's important, of course, but not all. But it's also about yourself, to love yourself and to detox your body, mind, soul at the same time. So you want to look into that if you really want to holistically address any health issues, is to not only think about your toxins in your body, but your toxins in your environment. And now I don't speak about environmental toxins, but the people perhaps in your environment, or the stress in your environment, or the day-to-day things you do or you don't do. And think a little bit how you can also detox and nourish your mind and your soul while you are doing a detox, or every day actually, as a matter of fact. So take some time out for yourself and look at the various areas in your life. Are you really happy? Are people really providing you happiness in your life? Is perhaps some friends who pull you down actually and drain your energy, and you might need to detox a little bit there as well. So that is something I want to give you 3 good quick tips here, how to start you off with loving yourself and looking also at how to detox, not only through food but through other things. And the first thing is probably my favorite, is soak in a hot bath with Epsom salts and some aromatic oils in it. And I love it. It's probably my de-stressor number 1. I just, after a tough day, and I do work a lot, I'm quite often a bit stressed. So for me, that one pulls me really, really in a nice spot. And additionally, the magnesium of the Epsom salts help you to detox through your skin and just calm you. And also it's really great to calm if you have headaches, for example. So during a cleanse process, you might do that additionally. And of course, some healthy, nice aromatic oils like lavender, for example, help you really. And after, you can use coconut oil perhaps in your skin and all over your body. And that's really nutritious and good for you, and it just feels good. And of course, moisturize your skin. And I mentioned the skin earlier being the biggest detox organ of your body. So before that bath, you actually want also to allow your skin to detox even further, and you can do that really, really great with dry brushing. So remember or think about how you can also look after your skin in terms of allowing to detox. So dry brushing is something before a bath or before the shower. It's something you can do every day or once a week. Helps really, really, really well to detox further, and just makes you feel good as well. And the last point I want to share with you today is to take rest and remember to detox spiritually as well. So a very good idea for that is to do yoga or meditation. And it's not only about doing like 3 hours of yoga or sitting there and doing the Om all the time, but just sitting with you and breathing deeply and reflecting, closing your eyes, being with your thoughts, listening to your own breath, and really going inwards help you to detox spirituality as well, and look after yourself and nourish your body, mind and soul. And I mentioned sleep earlier, so you definitely want to promote sleep while you are going through a cleanse. Wow, now I think I have provided you tons and tons of great ideas on how to cleanse and nourish your body, mind, soul. I hope you enjoyed my little talk today. Please remember you can join me directly on wellnessmethods.com. I have also my Facebook group, Work-Life Balance. I have a Facebook page, Wellness Methods, and you can find me on literally on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on almost everywhere. So if you want to find out more, if you want to contact me, I'm sure you can find me. My name is Andrea Caprio from Wellness Methods, and I also include here my fermented and prebiotic rich foods as a little gift for you, so you can download it. Thank you so much. Please leave me your comments as well, or if you have any questions, just contact me. I would love to get back to you and give you a little bit more idea on how to cleanse and nourish your body. As I mentioned, I really for me that was the biggest thing in my life probably, which promoted me to become a nutrition coach, because when I learned how you do it correctly, I just wanted to pass it on to everybody, and all my clients have seen so much changes, positive changes in their lives and their health. So I invite you to really cleanse, use the 3 phases of a cleanse, of the detoxification process, and nourish your body. Thanks so much for joining me today, and be well.